Okay, welcome back. And my guest is Kazeem Afegbua, former Commissioner for Information in Edo State, and also a member of the Presidential Campaign Council. Thank you once again, Kazeem, for being with us. We've been looking at some of the party men, because this is an all APC affair, who would be Senate President, but they're all waiting. Indeed, everybody's waiting to hear what the zoning arrangement shall be. Right. Take a name like, just looking at Senator Ali Ndume, Borno South. I think he also naturally is going to be interested. He's, I think, second ranking senator in the Senate. What would be your commentary on his, aspiration in the mix of things, such as you've been explaining? Understanding that you've said, and there are many people who also see it like that, that the South-South turn has probably come. But take Ali Ndume, Borno South.
I don't think Ali Ndume has indicated interest. That would be unfair to do so, because the Senate President, the outgoing Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, is from Yobe State. Ali Ndume is from Borno. The Vice President-elect is from Borno.
He's from...
And so, so Ali Ndume cannot, be asking for Senate presidency. He's a man of justice. He's a man of fairness. I know that he will support our aspiration in the South-South. He's very blunt. He's one person who speaks truth to power. And I will be happy to have him support us in the South-South for us to produce a Senate president.
Okay. Let me bring on Mr. Lukman, calling in from Ghana. Good morning, Mr. Lukman.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Mr. Kazeem. A very sound analyst. I always enjoy your program anywhere you are on any station. Thank you for your wisdom. May God continues to bless you. Yes, you are very correct, 100%, that the South-South, they've done what most of us don't even expect that we can get from the South-South. They fought so hard for us as APC. And I think they deserve it. And I think I listened to Reverend Dominic. If you want to claim a position today, you should know how to play the games as well. If APC has lost the election with the way and manner they voted in Southeast, would they be requesting for Senate President today? The Yorubas, Southwest, they lost Lagos and Osun to their own, against their own son, which is the president-elect. Not that they hate Ashwaju, but they are playing a balanced politics so that when PDP or APC comes to power, they will be able to have a say. And this should be the way we should be playing politics all over Nigeria. So there is no how people will be saying we should balance. If we want to balance the governance, we should balance the elections too. You cannot play a dirty game during the election and you will be forcing people to balance. We are all Nigerians, and anyway it's going. And secondly, Mr. Kazeem has said it all. The South-South has not been number 3 before, and this will be unfair to them with the job they have done. So we have to give it to them, and it's justified. So the party should look at the South-South, and if we can get somebody like Opabio, a very strong man that really loves Nigeria, will be okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lukman, for calling in from Ghana. Okay, Kazeem, he actually went as Akpabio. He mentioned Akpabio. That as far as he's concerned, that would be a fine representation from the South-South. You agree?
Well, Godswill Akpabio, for those who know him closely, they speak so well about him. I'm not close to Godswill Akpabio, but at least I can speak to what he has done when he was a governor of Akwa Ibom. They call him uncommon governor, so a common transformation governor. And like someone like me who knows Akwa Ibom before he became governor in 2007, and thereafter, you always mistake Akwa Ibom for another city, Uyo, for example, and the state, the kind of infrastructural renewal, the kind of achievements he recorded as a governor for 8 years. They are quite transformational and they are quite uncommon in using the term that he's popularly known with. A man such as that understands the dynamics of politics. He also understands that people matter so much, because if you trace his antecedents when Atta, was governor, he was a commissioner for local government and chieftaincy affairs. Nobody believed that he could become a governor because he defeated the incumbent governor's own choice of his son-in-law, and that means Akpabio has something, going for him. Maybe he's very positive towards youths. Maybe he's a team player. Maybe he's interactional. He's conversational. He understands the nuances of politics. He understands geopolitical balancing. He understands the dynamics of the system. So such a man can be pushed forward by those who are his adherents, who are his friends, who are his followers. And he's also a ranking senator by virtue of the rules of the Senate. But my interest is primarily that the zone should be given the opportunity to produce a Senate president. We have one deputy Senate president who is outgoing now, Senator Omoagege. We have to crown our effort with Senate presidency. And if a man like Godswill Akpabio presents himself, then the zone will rally around him as a ranking senator. And he's most likely going to be the only ranking senator from the entire South-South zone. And so that is a natural given for him. But the 10th Senate, we should be able to set agenda for them. We should be able to look at who are we looking at. If it is Akpabio, for example, the candidate must be one that understands the dynamics in the country. It must be one that is ready to work, constructively with the president-elect when he becomes president. Then, so that it will not be called a rubber stamp assembly, because I know that rubber stamp Senate has become almost like a doctrine. But a man like Akpabio, for example, can argue cases. He's a very stubborn person. He can argue cases. He can decide. He can insist that the independence of the Senate must be respected. In terms of setting agenda, he will take the country as his constituency, not necessarily his own. He has friends across all the geopolitical zones and all of that. That's why I said a man like Ndume from Borno should naturally support South-South and by extension support Godswill Akpabio. You need people who have the network of influence across the country, who can do a lot of footworks, reaching out to people, reaching out to the power players, reaching out to the ordinary person on the street, so that when they are coming out with laws, those laws will have their own therapeutic effect on the well-being of the entire country. Because as a Senate president, you are just going to be like a moderator of the entire process of lawmaking. And a man like Akpabio, for those who know him very well, I've read a lot about him. I've seen him as a minister and all that. Even when they were trying to bend his neck on the issue of Niger Delta NDDC, he stood his ground because he said he was driven by his own convictions. A man such as that is better suited than anyone who may just be pursuing a cause for his own interest. But South-South, as a geopolitical zone, is strategically positioned and must be respected and recognized with that position. It's an appeal that we are making. We are not threatening anybody. We are wooing people. We are lobbying people that South-South should be given that recognition.
Okay. Emmanuel in Port Harcourt. Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Please go ahead.
Yes, my name is Samuel, not Emmanuel.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Samuel. Okay.
Yes.
Please go ahead, Samuel.
I have listened keenly to your guest. He's quite eloquent, and I will speak in support for the Senate presidency coming from the South-South. South-South, we've contributed immensely to the development of Nigeria. Regards to oil and gas, we've contributed very, very well. And in addition to that, we've not really had that opportunity to be the Senate president. So why not give to zone it to the South, South-South particularly? And he mentioned Akpabio. Akpabio, well, he's a nice person. He has done excellently well as governor, and I believe that if he is elected as Senate president, he will do better. He will contribute immensely to the development of Nigeria. So I'll be in support. If I have the opportunity to vote for a person like that, I definitely I will. He has done well. Being a governor, he did well, and I know he has Nigeria at heart. So he's a good person. He will do well. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. Samuel, sorry about getting your name wrong the other time. So, Kazeem, the 10th Senate is going to be inaugurated, I understand, somewhere around June, around June 13, upon a proclamation by the president. But the other thing, the Careful Balancing Act that we're talking about in Nigeria here, first of all, the first two positions have been taken care of, the president and the vice president-elect. Now we're thinking about the National Assembly, and we're looking at the chairman. But also in that National Assembly is the House of Representatives. And with this kind of a balancing act going on here, wherever it is zoned to, is going to affect, won't it, where the House of Reps speakership will be zoned to as well.
Yes, it's going to affect, but I think with the present configuration, going by the fact that the chairman of the party is from the North Central Zone, the Northwest are more favorably disposed to having the speakership position. The North Central has the national chairman of the APC. Even if anything will happen that will alter the geopolitics or the political arithmetics of the country, if the chairman of the party remains in North Central Zone, then the speaker will naturally go to Northwest. And the deputy speaker or deputy senate president, depending on how they want to balance the factors, can go to North Central and South and Southeast. So essentially, if the South-South is given this recognition, which I am making a very strong case for, then with the other balances will come, the other factors will come to balance between deputy senate president, deputy speaker, within Southeast and North Central. So, but it is good for you to have an inclusion, for you to have geopolitical balancing, for you to also take into consideration the contribution, the importance of these persons, of these zones, what they are bringing to the table, what they have brought to the table, and what they intend to bring to the table.
Okay. Let me bring in Atunwashe, Mr. Atunwashe in Port Harcourt. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Please go ahead now.
Yeah. Okay, I think when it comes to the issue of Senate presidency, Akpabio is more among the ranking senator. I think he's more qualified. And I think I prefer the Senate presidency go to the South-South. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Okay. Short and sharp. Short and sharp there, Kazeem. The man just is saying everything you said. He's rubber stamping it.
Yes, people understand these dynamics, Yori. You see, the South-South, the South-South zone came up, with all manners of seriousness, deploy its own resources, mobilize the electorates, believed in the APC presidency, even when some zones and some persons were working behind the clock to ensure that APC was disgraced at the election. And the issue of Muslim ticket, same-faith ticket, did it also help matters? But essentially, with the victory of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it's obvious that Nigerians do not depend so much on the issue of religion. What we want is a government of national importance, which the president-elect has enunciated. He has emphasized that there has to be government of national importance and not necessarily government of national unity. You need people who are competent, people who have the ability and the capacity to deliver on electoral promises, people who understand the dynamics in the country and they can speak to them, people who also understand the intricate logic of the Nigerian Federation and know how to balance, power and deliver on assignments given to them for the overwhelming majority of Nigerians. So, in this context, and knowing the strategic importance of the South-South region, it's just natural, Yori, that they should please accord us the recognition of serving as Senate President. And the man they have mentioned his name happens to be also a very formidable candidate. Because I remember in the APC's primaries, despite the fact that he has mobilized to contest for president of the country, he stepped down for the Emiloko candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He stepped down for him and he didn't look back. He didn't look back. He went all the way to ensure that even in his state, where the chairman of the PDP campaign comes from, Governor Udom, he was still able to make 40% for APC. That is cheering news. That is what I consider capacity to deliver on assignment. Well, it's different from someone who wants to protect his own interest, senator, and he will be returning 6,000 or 4,000 to his own presidential candidate. And he will turn around to say he wants to come and be the Senate president.
Okay.
I think
I want
it's
to
like
bring in George.
logic beyond the
okay, sorry.
normal.
George in Ikeja has been standing by. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to Mr. Afegbua. Uncle Yori, Mr. Afegbua is somebody that I respect a lot because of his antecedents. But I'm slightly going to disagree with him this morning. He will permit me to do so.
Please. But you got to be brief, please.
Yes, Uncle Yori, don't forget the northern governor, especially the northern APC governor. He brought a brand of integrity to politics in this just concluded election. But for their insistence that presidency must go to the south, Asuaji wouldn't have won that election. That must be understood. And in my view, that integrity that they have introduced into politics, we should try to sustain it.
Okay, Mr. George, I think that's the crux of it. Forgive me, Mr. George. I'm going to prevail on you. Please allow it to just be like that, because I think that's the major point. What do you think, Kazeem, that without the northern governors...
You see, Mr. George should know that before now, I have seen the northern governors as my heroes. I've written about it. I've commended them, I supported their position, and I continue to celebrate them. I said, for their understanding that there has to be balance of the political algorithms in the country, the 14 northern governors who came together and insisted that power should shift to the south remain my heroes. But we're talking about balanced power. We are not saying that those governors are not recognized. They are recognized. They are respected. They are celebrated. I appreciate them. I support them. Different from the PDP where I was coming from, that was championing the cause of Elijah Atiku Abubakar even when it was the turn of the South to put a candidate. So, but in this context of balancing of the powers of the country, I'm saying that the northeast and northwest geographical zone can take the speakership position. The north central can take deputy senate president or whatever, since they have chairman. And the southeast can take deputy speaker or deputy senate president, depending on what the party thinks. But I'm saying that for us, for the APC to even get further roads into the South-South geopolitical, which is the stronghold of the PDP, they need to give this position to this president to the South-South geopolitical zone.
Okay. Kazeem, that's where we're going to have to leave it today. I'm sure there's a lot more, and we could, go on this, analyzing it for the next couple of hours. But I want to thank you for your analysis and your informed opinions this morning that will help us probably understand what the stakes are and what the issues really are in filling the all-important position of the number 3 man, the Senate President of the Federal Republic. Thank you very much once again, Kazeem Afegbua, former Commissioner for Information in Edo State and member of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. Okay then. So that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folare. Bye-bye for now.